After a nerve-wracking week, Aina and Atylyna lie down on the sofa of their shared apartment. Suddenly, the both of them receive a message from their manager saying that, "Pick up, ladies! The both of you are going to Brazil." They look at each other, feeling nervous yet excited. Aina took the initiative to call their manager to fill in more about her message. Their manager told them that the client was very satisfied with their project and wanted to sponsor them for a trip to Brazil. The flight will be on the next 3 days. After that, Atylyna does a quick research on Brazil while Aina is planning on what to bring. When the day has arrived, they met up with one of their colleagues at the airport, Lucy, who was surprisingly very familiar with the places in Brazil. Turned out it was because she has lived in Brazil before. She will be acting as a tour guide for them. After 33 hours of flight, they landed at Rio de Janeiro airport. They took a taxi and head off to the place that they will be staying at, which is Hilton Rio de Janeiro Copacabana Hotel. The hotel was located beside the beach. They were tired after the flight, so they went straight to their shared rooms and collapsed upon the mattresses. They also played rock, paper, scissors to decide on who is going to make the food. Atylyna ended up losing, and she prepared some Maggi cup instant noodles that she brought from Malaysia. The next day, they woke up at 4:40 a.m. for Fajr prayers. Fajr started more earlier in Brazil compared to Malaysia. After Fajr, they managed to get a glimpse of the mesmerizing view. The rising sun were illuminating the ocean. They took a short nap after that, before preparing for the start of their journey. They walked beside on the pathway to the beach, feeling the breezy wind. They visited the Aina restaurant, one of Rio de Janeiro's well-known restaurants for serving halal food. They were skeptical at first, but they were convinced after seeing another Muslim person there too. They asked the Muslim just to make sure if it is really the right places. She was a local Muslim. Her name is Aina. She was really friendly and nice. Because it was nearing Zohor, Aina approached them, asking if they wanted to join her in Zohor prayers at Masjid El Nur, or what locals call it, Mezquita da Luz. She even offered them a ride. Aina and Atylyna separated with Lucy and told her that they would meet her later at the hotel. Masjid El Nur is located at Villa Isabel. It is also the only mosque in Rio de Janeiro. It took them half an hour from Copacabana to arrive there. They sat down, waiting for the azan, while Aina talked a little about local Muslims who live in Brazil. She said that it would be preferred for Muslims who live in Sao Paulo than Rio de Janeiro, because the biggest concentration of Muslims is found in the Sao Paulo region, which would make it easier to find a mosque and halal foods.
It was midnight. Aina, Atylyna, and Lucy haven't slept yet. Lucy was telling them about a wonderless phenomenon that's lying on the border of Brazil and Argentina, the Iguazu Falls. They decided to head there. There are two ways on getting there. Either take a 24-hour-long drive or a 2-hour flight. They took the flight instead, since it would be faster. They impatiently threw their things in their hotel room and head to the Iguazu Falls using a cab. The moment they stepped in there, it felt indescribable. Nowhere else you can feel such an awesomely unyielding force and power of nature in such a stunningly beautiful setting. One thing you will notice immediately is the unbelievable rainbows forming all around you. The mixture of mist and sun creates the perfect amount of light to generate the beautiful rainbows. They couldn't believe how many rainbows they saw springing up around falls. The next day, they went to the Parque das Aves. The Parque das Aves is a sanctuary and shelter for birds, and it is near to the Iguazu Falls. Its exhibits comprise many birds as well as other animals and butterflies. They saw many colorful parrots, macaws, varieties of toucans, flamingos, but also cranes, red ibises, herons, harpy eagles, vulture, and many more. There is also a large butterfly house where, in addition, you will find little flying beauties, hummingbirds. There were also alligators and anacondas. They were allowed to pet and feed some of the birds. Suddenly, a flock of birds gathered around them. Some even almost pooped on them. They managed to shoo the birds away,
with the help of the staffs. Turns out, when Atylyna spotted the bird feed, it spilled over her, but she didn't clean herself more carefully to notice the bits of bird feed sticking over her clothes. Everyone burst in laughter because of Atylyna's carelessness. After that, they returned to their hotel room and washed up before starting to pack their belongings to return to Malaysia. They were curled up on their beds, sorrowful that their journey was coming to an end. It was nevertheless a fantastic trip, and they sure won't forget about it soon.